Hip-hop moments of clarity.
Hip-hop moments of clarity.
What's up? This is Vanessa Staten, editor-in-chief of XXL, here with Hip Hop's Moments of Clarity podcast, episode 2.
Yep.
We're here, full house today. We have Wayno.
What's good, V?
JFK.
What up, what up?
Roger over there with the hair.
Here.
Barry over here with the engineering skills.
What's good?
And today's topics. All right, so let's start. We're going to start with some NBA YoungBoy. So, JFK, you want to run us through what was going on with NBA YoungBoy today, this week?
Yeah. So NBA YoungBoy Never Broke Again.
Yeah.
So he was arrested on Saturday. He basically was arrested on like weapons violations charges, kidnapping, and allegedly committing assault. Also, this weekend, a video came out. It was pretty graphic of him, body slamming his girlfriend, grabbing her, pulling her into a hotel room. It was a little crazy. So, right now he's being held without bail.
Well, he had that incident, right?
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
then while they picked him up for that, then they got him on the pre-existing warrants for the kidnapping. We don't know who he kidnapped, right?
Oof.
Correct.
And the aggravated assault. And we don't know who he assaulted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if he did, who the alleged victims are.
Right.
Right.
So two unrelated situations that all sort of came together this weekend.
But the incident that happened was in Tallahassee, right? So then they extradited him over to Georgia?
Right. That's what the initial charges were.
Got you. Yeah, that got it. And then the girlfriend went on. We had her up in the office. It was the week last week. It was interesting. Right. It was an interesting couple. But the girlfriend then went online and denied the whole thing on Instagram and said that they were just playing around, and they play around all the time like that. That's them playing around. Right. And then she released a rap song where she was rapping about it.
She mentioned that she was going to drop a mixtape, and one of the songs was titled after we were just playing around after their little
You gotta
whatever.
be fucking kidding me, right? Is this a Boondock skit or what? You gotta be fucking kidding me. First and foremost, y'all, isn't NBA YoungBoy like 17 years old?
Yeah,
He's very young, right?
Super young.
I mean, he's a young boy.
Right. Duh, right? Like, my bad. Like, I'm not even thinking. So what's crazy about this to me is that this is not his first go around with the law, right? Like isn't he on probation or something like that?
There's a history.
Oh man, I mean, like the thing is, I have nothing. I don't know this kid. Never met him a day in my life. I've heard a few songs. He's cool, but there's never a cool time to play around with a woman like that. Like my mom always taught me not even to play fight with girls because it could get serious and you won't even know it. You know what I mean? It's like. This is just really unfortunate because he's in a position, he just was up here last week, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Pitching himself for freshman. I mean, like, this is no good. You know what I mean? Like, this is really no good. It's just like a black eye on his career.
Right.
You know what I mean? We seen what happened. Remember what happened with Little Reese? Like, Little Reese was about to put out the Us remix video with Drake and what's this dude's name? Rick Ross. And all this momentum was around the Us record. And this video comes out, he gets dropped from Def Jam.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just unfortunate. I don't know what's up with these kids, man, but they need to chill with their hands.
Yeah. And also it's just like you look at his career and what's happened so far, and it's only, aside from this, it seems like was only going up.
Right.
He was only shooting up, and now,
Well, I mean, yes and no. If he has pre-existing charges and warrants out for aggravated assault and kidnapping, it was a matter of time before that was going to catch up with him. We just didn't know about those cases.
Yeah.
And then he gets caught. So, I mean, what else do we know? That was some Kodak thing, too, of, we didn't know that he had that warrant or whatever at different times. So I think, he was only going up, but obviously there's some stuff that we didn't know about that played a role with how fast that rise was going to be. And it looks like it caught up with him. And who's to say if there's anything else that catches up? I would assume now, because they have him, they can, whatever warrant they have, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, what I
we
do,
didn't see that coming outside-wise, huh?
Right. I know I was about to say, like, what we do know is, like, I mean, he's from Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Baton Rouge is a tough place, to come up out of. And I'm just looking at it from the perspective of this. It's like, if you got a shot, like, I don't know why he's being charged with any of these allegations or whatever, but if you got a shot, like, why put yourself in any position? I mean, he had the incident, V, when he was at the mall, right? And some dudes was trying him. I seen that online.
Yeah.
I mean, don't look at me. If I'm on for me, if I'm about to blow up and be a rap star, I'm staying inside when I can and not getting in any trouble.
Right.
Exactly.
But we've seen many times guys be on the rise and still get into trouble or have previous trouble catch up with them. So, I mean, I'm also way older. And when you're 18, 17 and things are different and you're just responding differently, it doesn't excuse it. But my logic is not going to be the same as theirs.
Yeah, I always use the 10-year rule, right? So my 10-year rule is like, okay, if he's 18, 10 years ago, he was 8. You know what I mean? Like,
very good math.
He's definitely.
I don't know where this rule's going.
What I mean by that is that, for a kid who was just 8 and in 10 years comes into, I'm pretty sure he's grossed about $1 million or more at this time, ego gets in the way. Money makes people feel invincible. You know what I mean? And that's what I meant about the rule. It's like, when you're in your 30s, you can look back to your 20s and say, wow, I was doing some dumb shit. But it's like, he can't even really look back.
I don't even, and I don't know how much his family makes, but when you're a certain age and you start making more than your parents or more than the people
you're
around
responsible
you,
for everybody.
Your whole perspective, I would think, changes on your whole role in your family and your dynamic changes.
He's wilding. He's buying tigers and shit. I seen like he bought a tiger. Like he's wilding.
Yeah, they took the tiger from him. We heard.
They took the tiger.
He can't have the tiger. They took the tiger.
I mean, you can't have a tiger. Period. Who wants one of them?
But didn't they just get something else?
They were looking to get a lion.
They're trying to get a lion.
Yeah, they were mentioning a lion. That was the next.
But Trippie Redd just got a goat.
Trippie Redd got a goat.
Yeah.
And Sway Lee got the monkey.
It's so funny because I want to know what the goat like.
Monkey? No,
I'm not sure.
They're all getting the same kind of monkey. Yeah, I went to French. I went to play with French's monkey.
I wanted to buy a monkey until I found out that shit was 10 bands. I was like, nah. I paid.
They're also a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's like a kid that just wants to jump on shit and play all day.
Yeah,
you know
fuck shit up.
Yeah, they wild.
I went to French's house just to play with his monkey, which sounds horrible, but it's a true story. Literally just to play with the real monkey. He wasn't even there. And that shit was some energetic, crazy. I was really excited about being with a monkey.
Right.
But that was a lot of work. It's not a dog.
It's not a dog.
It's not a dog.
And a dog is a lot of work.
Yeah.
I paid $2,500 for my dog, and he gets on my nerves.
Yeah, but you could go to the shelter and get a really good rescue dog.
I don't know about the rest
Yeah,
of
we'll talk next
You about to be one of those?
Good talk.
I forgot if he is a dog person.
Yeah, we'll discuss that later.
Right.
It will be a senior.
It'll be I got you.
What's it called? Well, yeah, NBA, I hope he figures things out. It's a sad story. I mean, I think the problem is that, you've got the pre-existing charges, you've got the charges, and then you have the video.
Right.
And I think the video is probably publicly wise the bigger thing right now.
Right.
Of
the public opinion, the public court.
Yeah.
Also,
it's hard to have people be compassionate about you in addition to that. So there is the free NBA movement online, but I think it'd be more relevant or prevalent if you didn't have the video also.
Right. That makes a whole difference.
Yeah.
That definitely.
And
makes
what do
a
you guys
difference.
think about people coming at his mom online about bad parenting? There were some people sort of.
Well, his mom did Facebook Live, right? And she a few times, and I think she's done it a few times in the past. So I think people know her as NBA's mom, and then you've got the sister. And so I think if you're a fan, you're familiar from their live, streams or whatever. So I guess the mom went on, and people were judging her of being a bad mom, and she had comments to say to them. I don't understand the mom going on Facebook Live to communicate with the fans and where that's going to unfold. I would just stay away, but at the same time. Obviously, she felt like she had something to say.
Yeah, I think some people just.
It wasn't the
to
first
be quiet.
time she had done it. She had been on before as NBA or YoungBoy's mom or whatever. Right. So, I think it'd be different if it was her first time ever on there, but it still was interesting.
Yeah, I just think sometimes you gotta fall back because it's not NBA YoungBoy saying it, but whatever she says is gonna be looked at as an extension of him.
Right.
So it's like if he he's facing some real legal shit right now, and. The biggest problem with people in the quote unquote hood is that they think that the police or the DA don't know what Facebook is. They think they don't know what Instagram is. They think that they don't.
That blows my mind.
Yeah,
you don't think they're sitting there all over everything?
It's cops that they got Facebook.
They have departments that are just focused on
that and themselves. Like they have their own personal accounts. They are people too. So the thing is that you may not. That could play against you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that could play against you. It's like if you got a situation, your mind, chill out. Remember when LeBron ran into the crowd? I think Kevin Garnett and LeBron's mom got into it, and he
Really?
told his mom. Yeah,
I
he
remember
told,
this.
Remember
Yeah,
that?
Oh,
video?
yeah.
And LeBron looked at his mom. He said, "Sit your ass down."
Yeah.
He told his
Some
mother.
of them had moms
Yep.
that were involved. Yeah.
He said he looked at his mom. He said, "Oh my, sit your ass down." Because what do you look like arguing with Kevin Durant? You're my mother. I
Right.
mean not Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett, right?
I mean Kevin Garnett. Yeah, like what do
Shout
you
out
look
to
like?
Kevin Garnett though.
Right. Yeah, it's like because it's
Showed us some love
for our
yesterday.
shout out.
Kevin
Yeah,
Garnett
yeah.
showed us some love. You know.
Right. Yeah, man. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, sometimes people. The problem is that social media and technology gives everybody an opportunity to have a voice, and everybody shouldn't have a voice.
Right.
You're
I think we could, with that NBA YoungBoy shit.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't have no opinion on it ultimately. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on, we've got Roger's favorite Tekashi getting Roger's buddy Tekashi getting arrested yesterday at his own video shoot.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I mean, it was a whole bunch of videos that we saw posted at that moment when Tekashi, was being brought into a car. It seemed like it was a cop car. And
But
then
what
we
looked like it was his for his own protection.
Yeah, he didn't
Yeah,
look like
it
he was
looked like
he
it
didn't
was
get
It looked like he
arrested.
was. I don't understand what happened.
And then like 10 minutes later, there's a video of Tekashi at the stoop, and it was super. But everybody online thought he got arrested.
I thought he got shook and they moved him out of there. And then
It
was
seemed
I
like-
mean, what did they say? He tweeted the address or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had way more people show up than were supposed to.
He tweeted the address towards the last video, so that's when everybody started kind of pulling
Yo.
up to the shoot. And
Seeing the footage, Raj, I felt so sorry for people's cars, man. People,
oh yeah,
they was jumping on people's cars. It's like I would be pissed
Damn.
off because knowing that all these teenagers on my car, and if I say something, I'm gonna get my ass beat by 50 of them. It's just disheartening.
yeah. And the rumor going around it was that it was all the setup. It wasn't like, what I'm saying, like they actually planned it out, that video shoot that way where Tekashi wasn't gonna go to it. Was they just called the cops to start more, like more hype around it. So
That's a
just gonna
rumor
be
that he
part of
called the
video.
cops?
Yeah, supposedly that there's
Whoa.
videos going around that he set it up in a way where the cops were gonna pull up and just kind of like bring them more controversy to the video. So
Yo, man, first off, I mean, if I don't agree with bringing police into anything.
Yeah, but it's New
Right.
York. You're shooting a music video on the streets of New York and Brooklyn. Like,
Yeah,
those
he didn't
hip-hop
have
police
the-
are coming.
Of course, he's never had a permit for any video
Right.
he's ever done. Like, let's keep it 100. He's never had a permit for any of those fucking videos. I mean,
just pull up,
Right.
pull up.
yeah, right. He's not getting no permit for none of that shit. And then on top of that, it's the same video. Like
it looks like
it's the same exact
it's
video.
Gumbo 2.0.
Yeah, he's done the same video about 4 or 5 times. What I thought was really big about it was he can fucking say something and people is gonna show up.
Yeah.
That's big. You know what I mean? Like a lot of artists that have 1 million followers can't say I'm gonna be somewhere and people is actually gonna go there.
Yeah, but if it's local and people have to go just a few blocks, or a few miles, it's different. And they're not paying anything. It's free. So
Yeah.
they're not paying for a ticket.
Right.
They don't have to, I guess they have to get dressed up if they're going to be in a video.
And everybody,
And they don't have to go too far. It's really local.
Yeah, it's
That's
very
what I
local.
love about the most thing I love about the Tekashi thing is I think that with the videos, you're really capturing what the New York City hood is.
Yeah.
In a way for anybody who hasn't seen what's
In
going
a
on
while,
there.
right.
In the subway and all that. Like,
Yeah,
it gives you a
yeah.
reflection of New York in a way that I don't think we've seen in a while.
Right.
I don't know what to say beyond that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and
I
it
mean,
shows how much, like all these people coming out, it shows how much people are really, want that clout from Tekashi. Everybody wants to be
yeah.
around him. Everybody.
Or they
you know-
just want to get in the video
They
because
wanna get in
everyone's
the
just
video.
trying to do a shout out to
They
get in
want
the
their
video.
moment
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, they
you
want
know?
their moment. I got my mixtape dropping next week. I need
I'm
to
gonna
be
be
in this.
famous for being in this video.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, he's doing fairly well on his with his sales and all of that. Salute to him for that. But that kid is just his theatrics.
Is he doing well with sales?
They said he did 60,000 the first week.
Really?
That's pretty. That's
Yeah, they're
heavy.
projecting that.
I don't know if I believe it.
60,000.
Yeah, they projected 60,000. Like that's a lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot for a brand new artist. Like that is.
Who said this though?
I mean, it's just coming out in reports. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, I mean,
This is the numbers I have to believe, to see to believe. And I could be
yeah.
totally
I heard he was
wrong,
projected to do 25. He was projected to do 25, and he's gonna do, which I don't think that's far off of because there's a lot of artists that are doing 25, and they don't have half the momentum that he has. So I could see how that could be legitimized.
Yeah.
But,
True.
but Did anybody listen to the tape?
I listened to
I
it.
listened to it.
And what are your thoughts?
I love Billy, the intro track.
Well,
the
that's
first track.
the one from yesterday, right?
Yes.
I just can't. I can't listen to that shit for more than. It just sounds like one long song. Like it's just. It's like the same shit. You know what I mean? And like we said off air, like these dudes ain't rapping for me. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But
well, what do you guys think about all this? I mean, he had problems in L.A. He had problems with some guy in El Paso. He's had problems with. There's video after video of guy warning him not to come to their town.
Right.
Yeah, he's
I
wild.
mean, it's a crazy. They threw bottles at him during his show. I think it was Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah.
What do we
Minnesota.
think of this?
I just hope that nothing bad happens to him, but I do feel like he's kind of instigating it. He's looking for it. So,
right. He's not shying away from it.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want anything bad to happen.
To your point, Raj, I just think that like when you're depositing certain types of energy into the universe, you know what I mean? If you play ball, if you're a basketball player and you're saying that you're the best and people can't fuck with you, then somebody's gonna want to try that. And if you're running around saying that you're a gangster and nobody's gonna touch you, it's only gonna lead to more people trying to touch you.
Right.
So eventually, I mean, I don't want to see anything happen to him. He's a young man. He has a bright career ahead of him, it seems. But he has to stop with, you know, some of that shit because ultimately, like I just watched the video today and some dudes in the background were saying, fuck LA. And these is dudes that's never gonna go to LA a day in their life. I don't think that his fan base is gangsters. His fan base, like when I look at all his shows, it looks like young white kids, you know what I mean? That just wanna go have a good time. It's not gangsters, so stop playing the gangster role. You know, people like his energy. I think he just needs to emphasize on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
All right, so moving on. Roger, Diddy.
Oh, so Diddy
Talk to
has a
us
lot of
about
people
Diddy.
talking from
With
his
his
Instagram.
because of his talking.
Yeah, from his Instagram post from yesterday. So our guy Bari over here is gonna run the audio. This is what Diddy had to say yesterday.
So many people rapping right now. I love it. It is literally like too much, you know. It's a lot to take in every day. Everybody saying the same shit in like different ways, you know. These are just my opinions. I mean, I'm not knocking nobody's dream. I just don't want the culture to get diluted, you know, where it gets so mass produced, it doesn't mean anything. Artists have to be special. Every artist has to be unique in their own right. I'm just trying to say, I guess if you're gonna be in this game, be great, man, because you can also be part of the noise. All you young aspiring rappers out there and R&B artists and singers and dancers, keep doing your thing, you know what I'm saying, and be special.
Well, he just looks rough in that video. I mean, he looks like he's tired. He's got the beard. You never see Puffy with a beard. And he just looks, I feel that was genuine just because of the way he looks saying it.
Right.
Which we can't show you guys. You'll have to look at it yourself.
So from that video, Funkmaster Flex took that video, reposted it earlier today. And what he reposted, he wrote on his caption, "Yes, so many whack rappers out here. If you think a rapper is whack, at them right now. At Diddy, at Ciroc." And what Funkmaster Flex started doing was started adding a few people. And a few people that he added was G-Eazy, Nicki Minaj, Lil Pump, and Lil Yachty. So then from there, there's people like jumping online right now on Funkmaster Flex's Instagram page, like Trippie Redd commenting, Lil Yachty already commented about to Funk Flex. So it's been starting a whole thing about like real hip hop, the mumble rap, all this types of stuff that's going on right now.
God.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of this shit. Like,
Funkmaster Flex complaining? What?
Yeah, because like, you know, salute the Flex. I got, you know, we got a good relationship and all that, but at the same time, it's like, dog, why you not calling out these rappers in New York that's trash? It's a billion of them. And they be up on your show rapping and they be up, like, stop it. Like, stop fucking with these kids. They're not making music to
for you.
Be, not only not for him, but I'm just saying it's like Trippie Redd or like Yachty is
Trippie Redd. Give him Trippie Redd's response.
Trippie Redd's response was this. Trippie Redd wrote, "I fuck with you, and maybe later you'll realize I'm way different than these unversatile ass N-word. I got goals set for this music shit."
Right.
So
I mean, just for me, it's just like, yo, dog, like, Flex, I don't know, yo. Like when it comes to what Flex is doing, I appreciate what he does in certain aspects, but like if Lil Yachty was trying to be J. Cole and his ability was his ability that he has now, but he was trying to rap, like to have that type of content,
he wouldn't be.
I could understand.
But is Nicki Minaj a whack rapper? That's who he has listed there. Like, I'm a little confused.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's Flex. Are you making a list of people that you personally don't like, or you personally have a problem with, or are these people trash rappers? Because I don't understand the lineup. I don't understand.
Nicki is not trash.
I'm confused.
Nicki is not trash. Like that's what I'm saying. I just don't get it because if you're gonna call one, call all.
Right.
And you can't tell me that all of these rappers that you play on your show that you think all of them is dope. You can't.
But that's the bigger thing. Don't call them trash rappers. Don't support them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't understand the name calling. I don't understand how that's gonna come off in any way, the way anybody wants to be, whether it be Flex or whether it be anybody. I don't understand that. There's other ways that you could do stuff, I think, like within your job that shuts things down you don't believe in, right?
Absolutely.
I just feel like Funk Master Flex, every 2 or 3 months, he has to go at somebody that's young in hip-hop and talk trash about them. And to be honest with you, I'm like, dude, this was built off the youth. You know what I'm saying? The youth runs this shit, not you, bro. Like, you've been in this for a long time. You're an OG, you're a legend. But at the same time, give them a try. They're making money. They're holding down their families. You know, they're taking care of their families. They're making their own money. Why are you going to bother somebody like Lil Yachty? Lil Yachty ain't fucking with nobody.
You're not fucking with nobody. And he's not. And the thing is like, I challenge Flex to go to a Yachty show if he's never been. Because I've been to a Yachty show before. And his shows are entertaining. You may not, like, you don't have to turn on his music in the morning. Like, the opinion that people have when it comes to hip hop is that everything got to be Dear Mama from Tupac, or everything got to be the Dynasty intro, or everything got to be Beanie Siegel's hardest record. That's not that, and it's not always been that. When Missy Elliott was Missy Elliott, you wasn't calling her trash because she wasn't rapping 50 bars.
Or Nori, like we were saying,
right?
Nori,
exactly. Like we just was talking about with Nori and Lil Pump. Like, okay, Gucci Gang. Nori said on Super Thug, Nori said what? He said what so many times. So many just fucking times. Just what? Just kept saying what. And it had a girl sing, what? You know what I mean? And yo, that shit was great. I mean, but at the same time, but see, the thing is that it was a different time. And even, I would say this too, Nori caught a lot of flack for that.
Yeah.
Right.
He caught it. I'm old enough to remember that time. I was a teenager. He caught a lot of flack for that. But my thing is like, okay, Little Pump is not making Body in the Trunk like Nori had with Nas. He's not making Banned from TV. He's not trying to get in that space. Why is Flex at his time? Why is he giving his platform? Why is this platform pushing that out? That negativity. I just think it's negativity. It's not even an opinion. I think that shit is just pure negativity.
Definitely negativity and a vendetta that he must have, like against Nicki or something like that. So.
Yeah, like Nicki, that came from left field. Nicki, I mean, I would personally say that Nicki. I feel like Nicki ain't been as dope as she has been. You know what I mean? I don't think that she's been as dope as she has been, but I'm not gonna call her trash. She's not trash.
Nah, not at all.
You know what I mean? Like, she's not trash. Everybody slips a bit. You know what I mean? And if Nicki is as good as we believed her to be from the start, she'll bounce back from it. And I don't think that's a hard bounce back. Her verse on Rake It Up was good. Yeah, it was dope for that record. You know what I mean? Her verse on Motorsport was good for that record.
On,
it's like
Plain Jane, the remix on Ferguson.
Yeah, the verse on Plain Jane is fire. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know, man. Like I said, man, I don't know with Flex, man. I be confused about a lot of that shit with him.
I'm just tired of the whole like old head, young head debate that's been going on, and looks like it's not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah,
you know, old rappers saying, or older generation people saying, you know, they don't fuck with the new guys, and then the new cats disrespecting the old. Like, it's just, you know, it just sort of needs to stop.
I tell you one thing though, Yachty don't need Flex.
Nah,
you know what I mean? Like, he don't. But this is where this is what people got to understand is that Flex has a platform, right? And the people that he's talking mostly about, none of them need his platform for success.
Right.
And these artists that he scrutinized, by the time New York gets up on it, they late anyway. New York does not dictate what the fuck is hot in hip-hop.
Not anymore.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
It's been not anymore. It's been like that for a long time.
Yep.
Now, and the thing is like people from the South be fucking with New York artists, but they be like that. Like when you do shit like that, it make people not want to fuck with us. It make it harder for an artist that goes down to Atlanta and gotta go see Greg Street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that shit is just whack to me, man. I don't know. That shit is whack.
Like we got to get over it already.
Yeah,
man.
like come on, man. Like stop it. Like what the fuck is like Yachty? Like come on again.
Yeah,
really?
Right.
It's like
This man about
that's
to
the
drop
target for everybody. Yachty.
If you feel like
put it out
Yachty's so
music.
trash and he would be out of here, why he on his second album?
Yeah.
He's on his
Facts.
second album, yo, and he had tours and endorsement deals. He's successful, and that shit is not stopping no artist from New York. Yachty's not in A Boogie's way or nobody else.
Right.
I mean, like that shit is just
What's
corny.
crazy is that all these Yachty haters, all these people that talk about Yachty, know more about Yachty than the actual fans of Yachty.
Oh, come
Yo,
on.
it's so sad. It's
Come
like,
on,
yo,
dog.
you doing more research on Yachty than the fucking actual
Come on,
fans.
man.
Like,
It's just that shit is whack,
yeah.
dog. That shit is whack. It's the disconnect, like you were saying, Jay. The disconnect is us trying to talk. Well, I ain't gonna say us because I'm not putting myself in that group of people because I fuck with the youth.
Yeah.
But the elders not talking with the youth instead of at the youth. Just
Right.
because you older than somebody do not know means that you're right about everything.
I like that Yachty's out there talking about the coach that died in the shooting and talking about him being a hero and talking positive about things.
Right.
Like, I think the thing about Yachty is there's a sense of positivity. We've never seen the dude be negative.
no.
Right.
And there's something positive in that feeling. And I think we're a little thrown off by that. But
Right.
I mean, come on, that means more to me than people just saying he's whack.
Yeah,
Right.
come on, yo.
You don't like it, don't listen to
Like
it,
the
I
kid
guess.
doesn't
but-
drink, doesn't smoke. Like,
a young-
what is he?
yo,
What is he doing?
right.
to you?
He's a young black
Yeah.
man that's
But
successful.
how is he
yo.
comparable to Nicki? It's my other
Exactly.
thing.
That's
Where
another
does
thing.
G-Eazy fit in?
G-Eazy too. What does G-Eazy do?
You could
Shit.
say, I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't listen to G-Eazy music, but you can't say that he don't got no records.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can't say he don't got no
And he's been
records.
growing,
It's
Like,
like
like,
4
you
or
could-
5 years for the dude at this point. It's just
Yeah,
how many
like,
years?
come
He's been
on,
around
man.
enough.
Yeah.
I think you know what, and it's sad to say, but it just looks like theatrics to me. And I wish that Funkmaster Flex would never resort to that, but it just looks like theatrics.
Okay, so
Yeah.
speaking of theatrics, is the Rich the Kid and Little Uzi beef real or theatrics?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well,
I honestly, I'm at the point
But
where
they've
I
been
just
going
feel
back
like,
and forth on
yeah,
Twitter.
I feel like it's
with
just
some-
they're trolling each other and they're just, they understand the joke amongst themselves, but I think
Right.
people are now like starting to see
I mean,
it
they either
more.
don't like each other, and these are like little jabs, or they do like each other, and it's totally fake.
Right.
And they had
Right.
some sort of plan where they were like, you know what, let's jab each other and fake and blah 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 and whatever.
they look,
One or the other.
They
Uzi
look
doesn't
like-
strike me as someone that's like looking for beef or like looking for like really like
Nah.
to go back and
Uzi-
forth on a record
Nah.
with someone. Like, come on.
nah. They don't. I mean, Rich strikes me as a man with plans. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
like,
He's got plans for the next 30 years.
yo, that's
or
what I'm saying.
something,
Like,
whatever.
first and foremost, I think Rich the Kid doesn't get the respect he deserves. You know what I'm saying? For being a standalone guy coming out of Atlanta, he came up to New York, got Jay Critch and got him lit. Come on, dog. And it's like,
Got Kendrick on his album.
got Kendrick.
Yeah.
Not only did he got a song and a video with Kendrick, Kendrick announced that his album was coming on his show. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, salute the Rich the Kid for everything he's
And
got
he
going
performed
on.
at the Britain Awards
He
with
performed
Kendrick
at the
Lamar.
Brit, right? Now, secondly, when it comes to this little beef shit, I just think it's like, it was funny to me to see Rich the Kid actually try to put some words together.
I know,
you
I was
what
like, okay.
okay, Rich, because he kind of had some metaphors in
Yeah.
there, do some punchlines. I'm like, okay, Jay Critch helping you with that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, I think it's cool. I mean, I don't look it to be a full out beef. I think that Uzi doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I think Uzi really doesn't care. I think that he's going to be dismissive about it, and then he probably will throw a little jab on a record or something like that. Or Uzi might just take a picture with some new Gucci duffel bag with $1 million in it or some Floyd Mayweather shit stunting. You know, but I don't look to this is definitely not no beef. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's definitely not no beef.
Yeah, and I
at
hope
all.
it doesn't get serious. Neither,
It's not,
guys,
dog. Come
you
on.
know? Please.
It's not getting serious, dog. Like they have to be around each other too much. They're not getting serious. I think it's funny though. I think it is funny, and I think it's good for conversation. Just
Oh,
that we're
yeah.
having a conversation about Rich the Kid actually making a diss song.
Right.
It's fun. you
That's
know?
rare, yeah.
Yeah.
From these rappers.
Yeah, come on, the rappers that in their class,
Right.
like a diss song, nah.
But I also feel like Lute's not on Lil Uzi's radar. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
he's on a different planet.
Yeah,
and he's
little
not
Uzi
famous.
sticks to himself.
If it was happening,
you know?
that like
Yeah.
wouldn't be. I don't know.
Right.
He just likes fashion. He likes to go to the mall. Right.
He
likes clothing. And I mean, and Rich the Kid is in his own world.
Yeah.
Like
he likes some pants too.
Right. Right, man. I mean, like, this is not gonna lead anywhere. We're gonna forget about this next week.
I forgot about it already.
Yeah,
KK.
Oh, TK.
KK. That is a story.
Yeah. So TK's
so what's going on?
So TK's murder case, the co-defendant was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Of the murder case with the home invasion or the
murder of the 21-year-old Ethan Walker.
Yes, that was the victim. Gotcha.
Yeah, during the robbery that went wrong. So similar to the Max B situation.
So the girl who allegedly put the whole thing together, who's underage, was just sentenced to 20 years, right?
Yeah, 17-year-old girl.
17-year-old girl. We don't know her name. Was sentenced to 20 years, and she took a deal that she would
plead. Basically, she
tell all sides of the story.
That is crazy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not looking too good for TK right now. But yeah, guys, you know that's the latest between TK right now.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't been looking good for him. The only, first and foremost, he had that one record. He put out an EP, cool. But when you actually look at the charges, right? When you look at the charges, just to be associated with some bullshit like that, some loser shit. And I think that not enough people take a stand against things like this. I mean...
Well, there's 2 murder charges.
Two murder charges and an assault charge, right?
Right.
Assault and robbery or something like that.
assault of an old man.
Yeah, and
then she looks like the Chick-fil-A incident.
Yeah, and it just looks... My thing is like, this is some bull... Like, this is some stupid shit. You know what I mean? It's like, this kid... What is he, 17 years old?
17.
Yeah. You know what I mean? 17 years old. He's probably gonna, he's facing a capital murder. That comes with life and death. You know what I mean? Like, he might be sentenced to death. Like, I don't even think he deserves, any light, man. It's like...
Any exposure.
Yeah, he doesn't even deserve it, man. It's like, he had his moment, and then when you start the race, all of that shit sounds cool. The song and all of that, until you start getting into the particulars and you're like, oh, so you went on a run from something like this? You know what I mean? It's just bad. I can't support any of that. You know what I mean? Like,
what kills me is just like seeing all the free take
because these kids don't know shit. These kids is kids from the suburbs. None of their family members probably got murdered and no silly shit like that. You know what I mean? And they're just speaking from a certain perspective. I remember one time I tweeted out that TK was a loser. I say, this TK kid is a fucking loser. And for 2 days, I had all these kids talking about my mother and all types of shit. You know what I mean? On Twitter. It's stupid. It's crazy. You know what I mean? And I think that this is not the right path, especially with the way hip hop is going with these younger artists doing these videos with these firearms in them. I mean, think about this. We just had a school shooting. And, these things are not totally related, but gun culture in New York is New York, in America, my fault, y'all. In America is a very, very big problem. And it's like, that's part of the problem. He's in Texas. It's very easy to access guns in Texas as kids. And this is the fucking result when you mix the bullshit with these guns and these kids with nothing to do. Oh, we gonna kick a dog, hit a lick, and all that other stupid shit. Now you gonna see, you wanna do some gangster shit? Now be a gangster and take that time.
Yeah.
Because that's what gangsters do. Gangsters die. They go to jail and they die in jail. That's what gangsters do. So be a gangster and take that time. That's all I can say.
Yep.
Man.
Okay. Lonzo's list. Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo. I feel like we talk about Lonzo every week here, right?
Man, I can't do it.
Well, this time around, Lonzo did not drop a mixtape, but he did. Was asked before a game his top 5 favorite rappers at the moment,
right?
And of course, Lonzo being Lonzo had a great, some curious response. Lonzo's top 5 right now is Future, Drake, Quavo, Offset, and 21 Savage. Now, what do you guys think about?
I'm not mad at it at all.
No.
I'm surprised Bow Wow wasn't on there after the way he just spanked him in a shooting contest.
Yo, I'm not mad at it at all, man. Lonzo Ball is 20 years old. We can't be looking for Lonzo Ball to say, yo, gotta throw Jay in there. Nah, it's like,
right.
I'm not. People are so critical of a young person saying something like that. Drake is almost the Jay-Z of this generation to these kids. Like, he means to these kids, he means what Jay-Z meant to me when I was a teenager. So it's like, I can't be mad at him saying that. Quavo is one of the most sought after artists. 21 is. It's like, I'm not mad at his list at all. It's his list.
Especially
you know
of right now.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty accurate with what's going on. Maybe a name or two, you know, we could switch around, but
if he had an all-time list, I don't think it would be anybody. I don't think he's not putting Biggie in his list.
Oh no, I know for a fact he got definitely Future on his list. That's top 5 of all time. But
he just turned 20. Like, come on, man.
You can't expect it. It's going back to that whole conversation we're having about Funk Flex.
Yeah, it's the disconnect. It's like, oh my God, so he put Drake in there and he didn't put Hove, he didn't put Jadakiss. No. These dudes is old enough to be his dad. Like, no, like,
you never heard Pac?
But
he was born in 1999. What are you supposed to do?
But what does stand out though is no Kendrick. I mean, especially playing in LA. Black Panther soundtrack just came out. I mean, you know.
But Kendrick makes a certain type of music, and Lonzo makes music. And if you listen to the way if you look at Lonzo's brand and the way he lives life and the way he makes music, I don't think he's listening to Kendrick at all. I mean, he probably likes the song "Be Humble" or something like that.
Like the mainstream songs.
He probably likes Kendrick's singles, but I don't think he's like, yo, man, you know, To Pimp a Butterfly when I was in UCLA, you know what I mean? To Pimp a Butterfly really got me through a tough time. No, the fuck it didn't. You know what did? The First Culture.
No, Forest Hills Drive. Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah, he's not listening to Forest Hills Drive, though. He's from LA and he's a young kid. He's not from the street.
Nah.
You know what I mean? And that just goes to show you a dude like 21 Savage who has a hold on the motherfucking streets. You know what I mean? How he's influential in different pockets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Think about that. You know what I mean? He's very influential. You got Lonzo Ball, like this dude played for the Lakers. You know what I mean? They asked his top 5. Come on. When people asked me my top 5 when I was younger, I wasn't saying Kool Herc or none of them dudes. I didn't say Run DMC. And these was dudes that they was putting out music before I was born and when I was a kid. I wasn't saying Cool G rap. No. Jay-Z, Jadakiss, like Beanie Siegel. That's what I was running with when I was younger. Nas. Wasn't like, and I was listening to these dudes, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, I gotta throw one of the classic dudes in there. I still to this day I don't put them in my top 5.
Big Daddy Kane?
Not in my top 5. You crazy? Hell no, nigga. Big Daddy Kane? No. And I like Big Daddy Kane, but he's not better than Jay-Z. He's not better than Nas. He's not better than Tupac.
Right.
That's real.
He's not. I mean, like, and he's not, like, even Rakim. Like, I love Rakim. Rakim was dope, but Rakim is not in my top 5 because when I was a kid, I didn't even understand what his music meant.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that shit. Like, Rakim had too many words for me when I was a kid. Like, I was like, damn, like, I could listen to it, but I didn't know what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. I'm still catching metaphors from Reasonable Doubt today. That shit came out in 96.
Right.
Come on, man.
But also has to do with, like your impressionable years.
Right.
The years you're in high school and middle school and shit. Like, the stuff that you like then is gonna, I feel like, is gonna be the stuff that you always think is, like, the dopest shit ever.
You're right. Think about that, right? To your point, Jay, think about this, right? Hannah Montana probably came out when Lonzo Ball was
like
15.
Middle school.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Middle
15.
school.
Like, the thing is athletes, they just overgrown kids. We look at him like this grown-ass man, but that's the same little homie on the corner that you see every morning. You know what I mean? Like, and 5 years ago, he was 15. That's when the Migos first started having they surges. He was 15 listening to this shit. So for the past 5 years, this is what he's listening to. 5 years ago, he was not listening to Life is Good. You know what I mean? He was not listening to Magna Carta, Holy Grail, or none of that shit. He's a 15-year-old kid.
I feel like there was more pressure to learn. Actually, to learn about the culture of hip hop back in the days before social media, where now you don't have to. You could just Google it and just give you the answer right there, and they don't do the research. So back in the days, you had to kind of do the research to learn about stuff, and if you didn't, they'll be like, "Yo, you don't know hip hop."
But the thing is like, and that's why I could never say that the Migos ain't hip hop,
right?
Because they are. You know what I mean? Like the Migos are definitely hip. Like it's people that try to like shell them out, like. Because they dress crazy, you know what I mean, or they got a certain type of flow that they aren't hip hop. How they are big? They were what's keeping hip hop alive in a sense right now. You know what I mean? Like,
wasn't that like Kanye dressed differently?
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, maybe not as crazy.
He has socially conscious records.
Yeah.
But that's what. See, the thing is that people always equate a socially conscious record into that's the only thing that you can do hip hop.
Right.
Ludacris had Throw Them Bows. You know what I mean?
Right.
Cadillac drills, Cadillac mills. Like he was doing all of that. He was.
But he also had Runaway Love though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When he tried to get serious.
Absolutely. But I'm just saying, it's like Luda is a part of hip hop. The Migos don't sound nothing like him, but they're from Atlanta. He's from Atlanta. Like, they should have just as much of a shot as being in somebody's top 5 as anybody else.
I remember the song that Future actually wrote for Luda.
Yeah, he talked about that, right?
Blueberry Yum Yum.
Oh, Future wrote
That
that?
was my shit.
Oh,
bro.
shit. I remember that. That was on Red Light District.
Chicken and beer, right?
Yeah.
Red Light District.
Yeah, Chicken and Beer.
That was on
That was
Red
Red
Light
Light
District.
What?
I
Was
think
it?
Red Light District.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Red Light District.
But I mean, when you look at when you look at hip hop as a whole, and you just look at Atlanta, man. I mean, you got to think about Dungeon Family. Future was in those studio sessions around Andre 3000 and Goody Mob and all these different brothers, CeeLo Green and them. You got just when it comes to Atlanta, you got Slim Cutter Calhoun. People don't even know about that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like I seen somebody be so critical. Like people.
Slim Cutter Calhoun was on Strange Music for years.
Yo, I like
then he
Slim
left
Cutter
it.
Calhoun.
It's been years. It's been a long time.
And you remember that video? What was the song V?
I don't
Cut.
know.
It's all right, girl. That's okay. Remember when Andre 3000 he was dressed like a centipede or something? He had on a he literally had on like a costume like a centipede. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because people are so critical about Young Thug and how he dresses and his
Right.
theatrics. But when it comes to Young Thug, people have a problem with the word thug being associated with his actions.
Right.
When you
right.
think about Young Thug, he is a creative. Yeah, he wore a dress and all that other. You know what I mean? Like I don't approve of that. But Dennis Rodman was showing up to games in full on wetting dresses and all of that shit and winning championships. So I think, a lot of people's creativity might be taken out of whack, but I'm not one of those guys that looks at the South as not a part of what we do. They're a big part of what we do, and we influence them in a lot of ways.
Especially now.
I think there's some sort of fear of like, I guess, with the old heads basically not wanting hip hop to branch out the way it has been branching out to all these other genres. Like if you think about it, Marilyn Manson. I don't need to mention what Marilyn, like how he dresses, how his kind of look.
Right.
In other genres, people do outlandish shit
All the time.
and now it's being finally introduced to hip hop,
Right.
and people are accepting it, and people have to accept. People are being pushed to accept more shit that they would have to accept in other genres that they never had to accept in hip hop.
Right.
So now, like, it's like if you're an old head in hip hop, you just you might feel uncomfortable with that.
And I think it's it's like feeling like a guardian of the culture, like,
Right.
and this is sort of going back to Flex and other people that are sort of, like-minded, feeling like you gotta protect it, you gotta dictate what's good and what's bad, but really like no one person can do that, regardless of your older person, younger person, like it doesn't matter your age, like no one has the right to say like this is hip hop and this is not hip hop.
The youth curates what hip hop is because when I was younger and I was the youth and I was a big Lox fan and people that were older than me were saying, "Oh, the Lox ain't this though." I didn't listen to them. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't listening to them. And to your point about Marilyn Manson, this is another thing. Everybody's all so critical about Lil Uzi loving Marilyn Manson. DMX had Marilyn Manson on The Omen 2 on his second album. And niggas just skipped over that though. You know what I mean? Like I remember that was my introduction to Marilyn Manson. Was The Omen 2 or Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood.
Yep.
Right? And my thing is that our genres have always crossed. Aerosmith with Run DMC, Walk This Way, Onyx and Biohazard, Slam Remix.
Right.
Slam was like a mosh pit song.
Yeah.
Meth and Limp Bizkit.
No, what it is, the problem is that we're getting into a point where it all goes back to the same thing. You have the older rappers who are mad, and not all of them, but at the younger rappers for not showing respect. You come down to, at the end of the day, you've got a younger generation showing more respect to rockers and rock stars. So maybe DMX back in the day or anybody had the other guys involved, there was still that paying homage element, which I think people lost now. And I think what they're looking at us now is like, okay, so you young kids can pay homage to Marilyn Manson and can pay homage to Nirvana,
Right.
Kurt Cobain, but you don't know what's going on with Wu-Tang? But you don't know the impact that had? I think that's the breakdown, is that sure, that rock has always been part of it, but there's a more emotional, like rock had a lot more emotional, emo side to it, which we're seeing with the XXXTentacions and the Little Peep and that kind of stuff, mixed with those young guys are now fascinated with those rock guys, but aren't sitting there talking about the great lyrics and spitting a verse from Raekwon.
I got you on that.
That to me, I think, is
that.
what the confusion. So you've got the rappers, and I could be wrong, being bitter that some of the rappers being bitter that the younger guys aren't paying any homage. At the same time, they're not sitting there and spitting reasonable doubt lyrics like you are.
Right.
But they're over there flipping out about Marilyn Manson and about Kurt Cobain. So I think that's the confusion now, is why are the young people obsessed with nothing having to do with hip hop legends, but with rock legends?
And I think a big part of that comes down to
not everybody.
Right. I think that comes down to also like the internet and the internet boom, because this generation of artists, they came up in, say, like the early 2000s, 2001, 2002, whatever, when the internet and Napster and Kazaa, shout out to Kazaa, LimeWire, all that.
Wow.
Shout out to LimeWire.
LimeWire was
But
shit.
that basically gave you the ability to access like such a broad range of music that prior to that, it was, I remember listening to Hot 97 and, pretty much that was it. Whatever they played on the radio, that's what I had access to, and that's what I knew. And that's what like curated my, my musical sensibilities. A lot of these kids that grew up on the internet, they have, they could go on YouTube or go on, a file sharing site or whatever and download whatever and access whatever. And I think that has like sort of shaped their view of music. And like, obviously hip hop is everywhere, so they're rapping, but maybe they grew up on rock, maybe they grew up more on these other things that people from the previous generation didn't even really have access to.
I think the disconnect too is like a lot of the older guys didn't learn how to transition, and they didn't they still tried to compete with the younger guys. It's like when people started noticing like the younger guys starting to make more of a come up, they started doing shit like, trying to be more on the side of what they're like. Why is this guy winning but I'm not? Because you affect two different types of spectrums when it comes to music. You've got your thing, I've got mine, and that can start a little disdain for the elders. That can start a little bit of tension when it's like, man, I'm not listening to them. Why are you so worried about what it is I'm doing, and what I do doesn't get in your way? Because at any type of profession, when you're in an office and you're doing your thing, and somebody that's not in your department starts hating on you or starts doing anything else, you like, man, fuck them. And y'all all work for the same company.
Right.
So I just feel like hip hop is just like this tree that everybody takes shade under, right? And some people is like, well, y'all motherfuckers ain't watering it the way we would water it. Right. And they like, yeah, but we're watering this shit. And we're watering it the way we like to water it. You know what I mean? Y'all watered it that way. Let us do our thing this way. And instead of us coming together and figure out, how we could water it together, it's always one or two people that are in big positions, from the elders to the youth, that may say one thing, and then the person from the youth says the other, and that's like the general idea of what this group feels about that group. But I don't think it's totally like that. Like I always said, I would love to see Young Thug and Chuck D have a conversation. And the reason why is because people can say what they want about Young Thug. When you hear him speak, he's not stupid. No. I mean, he's very intelligent and he's very receptive. I seen that when he had a meeting with Minister Farrakhan, and how when Minister Farrakhan spoke to him, how receptive and, open he was to listening. And I was like, wow, it would be dope. Think about Public Enemy. Public Enemy was fight the power, right? Not to do the norm. We're not going to let y'all tell us what to do. We're going to go against the system, right? A lot of artists today have those same sentiments. They just display it in a different way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They just display it in a different way. And I feel like no matter how much I do like Chuck D, and listen, when I was a kid, I wanted a clock because of Flavor Flav. I wanted to wear a clock. That was the illest shit ever. For real. It was the most ridiculous. But I feel like we could get a little bit further if we shared that fashion sense.
Yeah.
What made you put that big ass clock on? Same shit that made me wear this dumb ass hat. I just was trying to get some attention. Think about those conversations. If we could bridge those gaps, then we'd be all right.
Yeah.
You know? That's what I got.
Facts.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
Well, to go back real quick on Lonzo, I'm kind of mad he left off Takeoff. I mean, Takeoff has some of the best. He came up on some of them Culture 2 verses, but
Yeah,
you know,
he has some of the best verses on there.
Yeah.
he said Offset, Quavo, and 21 Savage, like,
And Drake.
and Future.
Yeah.
Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, ultimately it's his list. Like, you know what I mean?
Facts.
Like,
True.
It's his list.
We'll see 5 years from now if it changes. So,
Right. And by that time, all of them will be 5 years older.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
By that time, they'll be talking about younger artists. that ain't
exactly.
shit.
They'd be like, man, you wasn't, like, they'd be saying, oh, this, man, he ain't no Takeoff. They like, man, fuck Takeoff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what's going on now. You know what I mean? It's always going to be that.
Yeah.
It's always going to be that, man. It's
Circle
always
of
gonna be
life.
that. Right.
All right, thank you. That's the second episode of Hip Hop's Moment of Clarity. And we'll see you next week.